A very fresh good morning to all of you, respected ma'am, and all dear my friends. Today, I Kriti Sharma here to present a documentary on major rivers and threats. Believe it or not, the Brahmaputra is so vast that even visible from space. The river cuts northeast India's biggest state, Assam, into two halves. Every year Assam sees major floods, and you probably see that in news. Lives are lost. Millions get displaced. Villages, crops and even basic infrastructure get destroyed. But what does Brahmaputra has to do with Assam floods? A lot. Thanks to geography. The Brahmaputra is both lifeline and threat to Assam. It is a huge river system of multiple channels and water bodies, crisscrossing large parts of state. This should be a good news, right? But no. The glacier melting in summer coincides with the monsoons identifying downstream, causing the animal flooding. This is a natural phenomenon of this region. There was a time when people welcomed the first flooding of the year as it makes land more fertile. However, the excess flow of water becomes a problem when it brings a load disaster. Successive government has spent 30 crore of the last 60 years in building embankments along with the Brahmaputra. US civil engineer cautioned in 19th century, embankments protect rivers and cause them to higher and flow faster. Elect was ignored that time, but today experts echo him. Take for example Dibrugarh, which was massive embankments that protects it from flood water. But Patragaon, which lies where these embankments end, does not have that luxury. So when floods come, while these embankments protect Dibrugarh, it channels the flood water in greater volume and density towards Patragaon. Well, one is saved, the another is left to deal with double whammy. That's why the flood becomes disaster. So why build embankments? Someone say it's just politics rather than policy. Think about that. Here is a simple equation. Human factor plus climate change is equal to flood disaster. With encroachment of river banks, more and more people are living close to river, risking their lives to flood. Not to forget the impact of climate change on eastern Himalayas as glaciers melts faster. And what's the human material cost? On an average, the flood killed 50 people every year. In 2012, flood cost rupees 3,200 crore. The state lost 8,000 square kilometer land to erosion due to flooding every year. And what about animals? It is said that flooding is essential for the survival of Kaziranga National Park, the world famous for its one-horned rhinos. Earlier, the animals could simply move to higher ground within the park. But in 2019, as 90% of Kazirangas saw flooding, the water inundated every inch of the park, including the higher ground. Suddenly, the animals has nowhere to go. The number of animals' deaths have been alarming. Did you know floods now kills more one-horned rhinos at Kazirangas? So, is there a solution? Now, I would like to conclude, the Brahmaputra cannot be tamed. Flooding will become more intensive in years to come. But how do we minimize the destruction? Himanshu Thakre suggests information about floods forecast must reach the affected village in time. Strengthen only those embankments that are really needed. And do not build more embankments. Ban all constructions on low-lying floodplains. Perhaps it's time to stop normalizing the yearly destruction and act, not react. Thank you and have a nice day.